Happy Sunday, Stampers and Paper Crafters. This is Facebook Live number 494. It is Sunday, June 14th, 2026. My name is Joy Borwedge, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I live in Burnsville, Minnesota, and I have been a demonstrator since August of 1999. So this coming August, I will be celebrating 27 years. Time goes by when you're having fun. I have met some of the coolest people just by being crafty with stamps, ink, and paper. I'm going to put you down at the table in just a second. If you get motion sickness or anything like that, just look away, and I'll let you know when I am done messing around with the camera. So hold on. So as I said, today is Sunday, and I hope you had a great weekend so far. Wow, 3 people on already? That's pretty cool. All right, so I'm going to turn you down to the table for that awkward change. Hi, Tina. I see you. All right, there we go. Happy Sunday to you, my friend. All right, tightening it up a little bit. I'm going to squish in. Okay, I think we're good. Let's put some hands down there. Yep, I think you could see what it is I'm about to show you. Put a little bit of light on the subject. Happy Sunday. Sunday is one of my favorite days because I get to hang out and stamp with you guys. All right, so first things coming up is my friends and I are putting on an event at the St. Luke's Church in Highland Park, Minnesota, and it is Saturday, July 18th, and to register, you can go to thestampinevent.com and register. And you guys, today happens to be the 14th, so this is in a month. So put that on your calendar, and if you're in Minnesota, come and have some fun. There's also quite a bit of retired product. Now, if you are out of state, then you can join us. Me and Heidi are going to be featuring the products that I think some of what we're going to be using at the in-person event is going to be for the virtual Stampin' event, but I don't know what we're doing. I forgot. Heidi and I have to talk about it. We might do something different than we have in the past, but we have to get our thoughts together. And speaking of that, I might as well do a little flyby. So this is the card of one of the cards that you'll be making. It's actually a fun fold using the Moonlit Flora Suite collection, and I'll be using that also for the virtual event, I think. Depends on what we're doing. So this virtual event, you're going to be making 8 cards, and that is Saturday, July 25th. And what happens is that we play videos. Heidi does 4, I do 4. And then that way we could stop it, rewind it. If Heidi and I make a mistake, then we basically don't have that in the video. So and then try to have to go back and recut paper and all that stuff that happens when you make a mistake. So we want to kind of make it so that it's worth watching, but also doesn't take your whole day. And that is thevirtualstampinevent.com. You can register for that there as well. I think it is open right now. All right, so if you do not have a demonstrator that you're working with, my name is Joy. Look me up. I would love to help you. And this is the catalog that we have right now, and it is the May through August catalog. And coming up in September, we'll have a new catalog. So we're going to have 3 catalogs a year, and this is a great way for Stampin' Up! To co-mingle what we used to have. So that was the annual catalog. It lasted for a year, and then we had 2 supplemental seasonal catalogs. Well, now Stampin' Up! Is just going to do 3, and then that way we can offer the online exclusives and the catalog at the same time. And not that we were saying we were doing that, but we also had the spring mini and we also had the fall mini. And so what happens is we were having three places to purchase your product. Now we only have two. We have the catalog and then we have the online exclusives. So if you don't find it in the catalog, it's in the online exclusives. And if you don't find it at all, it had been retired. So check those out. Now, the last chance list it was available, it was updated in the beginning of the month, and we put products that Stampin' Up! Puts products on there that they're not going to restock anymore, and they put generally huge discounts on there. And if it doesn't sell out, they'll put more discount on it. So check that out if you like to shop and get a good buy. Now, these are while supplies last. They're not going to sit there and say, well, we're getting really low on this stamp set. You'll see it one day and then it's not going to be there the next. Now, if you do see something that says unavailable, that means that something else is coming in it. So that means it was orderable, but it's not, and there is more product coming, which not necessarily was planned for. So also Stampin' Up! Has a class coming, and it is the Scenic Coast craft class. And Scenic Coast Sweet camera is it says slow connection, so I did not leave. It's the connection of the apartment building. So apparently best. So just to let you know. Lori, hi. Okay, so if you actually happen to have the Scenic Coast class, or Scenic Coast collection, which is 167786, you can sign up for the class, which is 171476. And that way you will get an invitation to an exclusive Facebook page. And Stampin' Up! Will tell you the dimensions of the cardstock to cut up. And then you can watch this on June 18th. Now, right now, like I said, it's the 14th. So if you don't have this already and you order it, you can go back to that Facebook page and rewatch it and stamp along. So you could pause it, rewind. Now, Facebook only allows videos to last 30 days. So Stampin' Up! Will probably put this also on a YouTube page. That's what they've done in the past. So it's super fun, and you will learn different techniques and explore crafting opportunities with Stampin' Up! Experts during this virtual class. So sign up, and then you can, like I said, go back in if you can't make it on that date and watch it if you ordered it and it comes in. That designer series paper happens to be so cool. I do not own it, but it has, like in a sunset, it makes the water shimmer. So if you could see this part right here, Stampin' Up! Made it so that it shimmers in the designer series paper. So all of it is like that. So it's so cool. And then product of the month, it is June. And so your ordering special, it's not a special. I mean, the product of the month is special for June. And it is called the Wild Bunch Stamp Set. And it has a penguin. And so with a qualifying order of $75, you will see a banner pop up and said, would you like to purchase product of the month for only $5? And I think that's really cool that Stampin' Up! Is giving us an opportunity when we purchase product and it reaches that threshold that we can earn something free, not free, at a good discount. I mean, designer series paper is around $12 to $13, could be more. dies, you know, they are generally $20 or more. And stamp sets, they are generally more than $20. So to get things for $5 is a great way to get something cute and fun. And I mean, look at, there's a Highland cow, a snail, a koala, and it says, happy birthday, thank you for all you do, hi friend, sending love, and just a little note. I mean, how sweet is that? And then you can see something that's coming up, and this happens to be something, it's a little sneak peek for you in the July online exclusives. Now, I was going to print something for Halloween because it's really cute, and my printer is misbehaving. So I was only able to get the Christmas one printed. So look for this beginning July 1st. Okay, so today's card, we are going to be using kind of a little bit here and a little bit there. We're going to be using the Forever Plaid 3D embossing folder. It is in the online exclusives. We are going to be using the Cutest Crew, which is a great bundle. And when you purchase the Cutest Crew, you get a stamp set and a die set, and you receive 10% off. Now, it's not a sweet. Hi, Dawn. How you doing? And it's not a sweet. It's just a bundle. And so there's no designer series paper. There's no embellishments that coordinate with it. So I have paired it with, man, I should have had that sitting out already. Gosh darn it. I didn't think of that. Let's see. I mean, I did actually think of it. So here is what the Cutest Crew does. And, where'd it go? I have the Country Woods Designer Series paper working with today's set. And we're going to be using this one right here because I loved the colors that I could put with that. And we're going to make a really cool fun fold. Now, this is the Cutest Crew. It's been going in and out of the options to purchase. So if you see it, get it. And if there's something that you can't get, say like the dies are out, there is a little box that says when it comes in, please notify me. When it does come in, how you doing, Lori? When it does come in, get it while you can, because this is one of the things that keeps running out and unavailable. So the stamped options are here and through here. Now the cat, the bird, and the dogs, those are also stamped, but they have die cuts that cut them out. Then there are these special little dies that also get cut out. Now I tried stamping with them. They do not work. So don't try to piss yourself off, and don't try that. These are standalone dies. So this here I cut out. Wouldn't that be fun if you would have this in a different color and then have the flowers in different colors? And then we also have the butterflies. So, so this is a great bundle. It's fun to play with. And let's see, we're also going to be using the Stylish Shapes. And this one's been around for quite a while, but I love, this was I think my first multiple die set that has lasted for so long. And let's see, like I said, tonight's fun fold card is, we're also going to be using this gray granite ribbon, and it is from the March Online exclusives. It actually works perfectly with that designer series paper that I have chosen for tonight. And then we're also using the Pearls of Beauty, and that is from the November 2025 online exclusives. So we're also going to be using, what is it? Blender pens. So we're going to be coloring things in. So here are all the parts that we're going to be using for this particular card. And, all right, I'm going to show you all the measurements. So this is a 2 3/4 basic white square. We need 4 of the designer series paper, and they are 1.5 inch wide by 5 1/4 long. Now you can mix these up if you wanted to. I decided just to do all the same color, or same paper, I should say. Then we have a piece of scrap, which is going to be for our greeting, and that is 3 1/4 by 1. And then we have a piece of basic white, which is 4 1/4 by 1.5. That is going to be for our puppy dogs. We have a piece, now this is actually a piece of scrap. This is basic gray, and it is 5 inches long by 1/2 inch wide. And then we have a piece of smoky slate. It is 5 3/4 by 3/4 long. That is actually a piece of scrap as well. And then a 2 by 2 1/8 piece of basic white. And then a 2 3/4 square of misty moonlight. And then we have a piece of basic gray, which is 6 by 3, and we're going to score it at 3. And then we have a piece of basic gray, and this is 11 inches long by 5 1/2 inches long. And then we're going to score it at 1 3/4, 3 1/2, 5 1/4, and 7. All right, so let me try to make it so that you get to see all of this, because I try to make it so that if I do something and you like it, you can come back and recreate it using A, what you have, or B, if you like what I have and you ordered it, then you can get it. All right, so I think that is good. I'm going to take a drink. Now, this fun fold, I saw it on Susan Campfield's video, and I've seen it in several other swaps that people have gotten it, and it's called either a WV fold or a VW fold, and I'll show you how we get that. All right, so I just took her measurements down and designed my card around what she had done. So I'm going a little bit more. She was using the product of the month, and I am using the Cutest Crew, and I just haven't used the puppies for a little bit, so I wanted to use those today. And I wanted to, oh, I'm not gonna throw that one away. I'm gonna keep that. And I wanted to keep the fun fold part of it. And so I'm like going, so what card can I do using the Stampin' Up positioner, the new Stampin' positioner, and do the fun, the puppies along with a fun fold. And I saw this and I'm like, I think I can incorporate that. Okay, so we're going to put this off to the side because we're not going to do anything with that right away. We're going to die cut with these, and we're going to put this through the Forever Plaid. And so we're going to put that over here. And we're not going to do anything with this yet, so we're going to put that away. We're going to stamp on this. we're going to stamp on this, and we're going to stamp on that. So I'm actually going to grab the Simply Score tool right now, and we're going to, sorry, Bert, I did not, my cat, Bert, is hanging out in his box. I got a Stampin' Up! Order, and I put the box on the floor, and he claimed it as his. So he is a big chunk in a little box, and he loves it. So this one is going to be scored at 3 inches. So this is 6 by 3, and it is 3 inches wide. So now it's going to be a 3 by 3 card. And so we're going to put that there. So we're going to throw that away. Now this one is going to go 1 3/4. So we're going to go right there. And then I like to put my middle finger at the base, you know, kind of at the base. And the lower you go, the better chance you have not skipping channels. So instead of doing it like this, you might run into the next lane, and I don't like doing that. So the lower you go, the better chance you have staying in your own lane. All right, so now we're going to go to 7. And then actually I'm going to fold this, I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to go the opposite way. She didn't do this, but because we're doing a fold, we're going to be flip-flopping back and forth. I just want to give it a good line, okay? All right, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to take this one and grab our bone folder. Now we're going to get a nice crisp edge. If I could grab it out of my tool holder. Okay, so I'm going to make sure that my corners are jamming together and give it a nice burnish. And then I always burnish it on the other side. And then we're going to flip this one. And then we're going to flip that over. Oh man, it did it. We're going to go over this way. And we're going to go this way. Now, why did that do that? It didn't do that when I did it on the other one. Gosh darn it. All right, let's get another piece. So, basic gray. And we're going to cut that at 5.5. When you make this card, this piece that you cut off, you're going to be using quite a bit of it in this card. So let's do this again. And we're going to score it at, oh, my lid came open. All right, score it at 1 3/4. And then 3.5, 5 1/4, and then at 7. Okay, so I'm not going to do that with this one because, see, we'll go this way. It rips the paper. I don't like that. Okay, so let's try it this way. Fold, over, fold, over. All right, so I didn't have this issue when I made my other card, so I don't know why it's doing this. It kind of broke the fibers on there, but
Oh well, I guess we're just going to leave it as is. So then we're going to take the Designer Series paper and grab my silicone craft sheet, and we're going to put these on I always tend to overshoot my adhesive on my glass mat. So I like, see, I just did that over on my glass mat. So let's grab the chamois and clean that off. This chamois comes with the glass mat, so it's specifically made to clean that off, and I love it. All right, I use that chamois all the time. Oh, and now I don't know why that came up. I've never had my Stampin' Seal rip up paper before. Well, let's try that. Okay. Anything that you don't want to happen in a video, here it is. All right, so there's one. And let's see. We're going to put this one here. I love this gray paper because it has a little bit of crumb cake in it. It has a little bit of basic beige in it. It is so pretty, and I love the smoky slate, and I mean, look at how just lovely that is. Okay, so that is the color. So then we're going to take this part here and we're going to stamp it. And we're going to use the stamp positioner. And we're going to grab the smoky slate. Now, smoky slate on top of this, which is basic gray, it's lighter, and I wanted it to be subtle, so I wanted it to be lighter than if I would have used Versamark, because Versamark is pretty dark, and then I wanted it to be let's see here. So what we're going to do is we're going to take, for those of you who've not seen the stamp positioner, it's actually really nice. It comes with two different, this one here, you do hinge step stamping, and so, and I made, all right, I needed to have that. Okay, I'm cleaning this off. I thought I had it in the perfect spot, but I didn't want the gray to go over the fold. So I guess I didn't have it in the perfect spot. Okay, so we want that to be there. Okay. And the Stampin' Up! Logo is facing up and facing that way, so you know that this is in the right spot. Now you can grab that, and let's start again. All right, so then just tap, tap, tap. And this happens to be smoky slates. So like I said, I wanted it to be lighter in color. It's just a background. Okay. Isn't it cute? Great. And then we're going to put our magnet back. We're going to go to the next hinge. It's right in there. And then we'll push down, and it gives perfect spacing. Now this is great for anybody who has arthritis because these are on springs. And so anybody who has issues with pushing down will not have any issues with this. All right, so then we're just going to keep going. Oh. And we'll go right there. And then the next one, I want a little bit, I want the last row of puppies to be down at the bottom. So I am going to move this paper up. And so just about there. And then I'll put that magnet down, and I'll put this magnet in the middle, and we'll grab that. And you'll see why I want that spacing in there. And just push, and there we go. Isn't that just adorable? Okay, so now we are done with that part of the stamping. We're going to clean this off and close up the smoky slate ink pad. And then I just use my Simply Chamois. I just take it and just wipe it like that. I like to use my Simply Chamois. I cut it into 4 so it's a lot easier for me to use. And then we're actually going to stamp this in Memento. And you don't need to have this here, but that's okay. Because it is here, we're going to just use it. And so we're going to stamp the puppies on here using Memento. Because we're going to use blends, I want to use the puppy or the Memento. You can use the new hybrid ink, but I don't have the time to wait for it to dry. Alrighty. Isn't that cute? Okay, so then now we're going to clean. You know what? I'm wondering if this is too far close. Oh. I think that'll cut out just perfectly. It might be a little close to the edge, though. See, that's what I'm thinking. We can always try it. If it doesn't work, we can always do another one, right? It's just paper. Okay, so that is the puppies. And, okay, so this has been cleaned. It's ready to go for the next time. And then, let's see here. We are going to grab the Stampin' Cut and Emboss. Well, you know what? Let's stamp the rest of the stuff. And then that way, when we die cut, we can do all the die cutting at the same time. So let's do the greeting. And that is going to say, have the best day. That's going to be in Misty Moonlight. And I am going to grab the Stampin' Pearson mat, because when you have photopolymer, you want to have that foam behind it. And that is going to go just like that. Stamp it in the middle. Okay. And then we're going to do some work. And so we're going to die cut that. So that's going to be in our die cut pile. And we're going to need Basic Gray and Calypso Coral. Okay, so our stamp that we're using, and I'm actually going to clean it off because it was hanging out in the bottom of my stamp case. So I just want to make sure that there's no dust particles on it. And then we're going to clean off that greeting, because once you're done with it, try to get in the habit of washing it off, because if you need to go back to it, then it's not going to have that residual leftover stuff on it to ruin your next project. All right. I just had to turn my fan on. Okay, so here we are going to use Scotch tape, and we're going to do some omitting. And so what that means is we're going to take our tape and we're going to line it over the hello. I just want to make sure I got all the letters. And I'm just going to use my fingernail to kind of push that down underneath, so my J for the just is not going to be causing an issue. But then I want to make sure I'm covering up my O all the way. Okay, so let's stamp this. And we're going to do it in Basic Gray. And we're just going to go tap, tap, tap. And then you're going to take the tape off. And hopefully it doesn't get all over your fingers like it's doing mine right now. And we're going to stamp just a little right at the top there, okay? And then we're going to clean this off. Because the just a little is now going to get taped. And we're going to do the hello in a different color. So we're just going to make sure that's dry so the tape has something to stick to. And again, we're just going to try to cover up all the letters. And I need a little tiny piece just for the J. Make sure my O is okay. Okay, so now we're going to tap that into a Calypso Coral, and then we're going to grab that tape all of a sudden it's quiet outside. People must be calling their kids to eat or something. I don't know. So I'm going to try to line to just a little, so then I know that my hello is in the right spot. And see how cute that turned out? Isn't that adorable? Okay. So then that's done, okay? And I think we are done stamping for now. I'm gonna grab that Simply Chamois and clean off our hello. Now the Calypso Coral does turn it just a tad bit a different color, but that's okay. You can still see it through it. Means it's a well-loved stamp, right? Okay, so that we're gonna grab the Stampin' Cut emboss machine. And okay, so the first thing I'm actually going to do is just take everything off. So all I have is plate number 1. And we're going to take the Forever Plaid and we're going to put in the Misty Moonlight. And I'm just going to line that up on that black line. And anytime you have a folder, you want the hinge to go towards the rollers, because what will happen is you will basically crack your folder if you go open end towards, because it takes the pressure and releases it out the end, whereas if it goes towards the hinge towards the end and you're going open, it doesn't have any way to release, and therefore it will crack your folder. So that's why you always want your hinge to go towards the rollers. And anytime you want the embossed side, just remember the Stampin' Up! Logo faces up, so that means that this is facing up. If you want to use the debossed side, that's the part that's upside down, okay? So just to show you, okay, so we want that. And then we're going to put the gray folder away. And we're going to grab the platform number 2, and then the bottom plate, which is very well loved. And then we're going to grab all our stuff that we're going to die cut. So our puppies, our greeting, and our gray. Actually, the gray piece doesn't need to get die cut. So we have the prints, the footprints. That's going to go there. And then the puppies, that is going to go I think right there. I like that. And so we'll just put a little bit of tape on it. I use paper tape by Scotch. I find it at Walmart. I don't have an Amazon account, so I don't have the post-it tape that everybody uses, but I find that this is just fine. It's originally very sticky, so I just put it in my hands like that until I am satisfied with where it's at, and I reuse it until it's not sticky anymore. Okay. And I don't need to put a piece of tape on here, but I'm going to, just because my folder is very well loved, and so sometimes it moves things. All right, so we're just going to push down and go all the way in. Okay. So then we are going to take our puppies out. Oh, isn't that cute? Okay. And then we can, if this comes off, nope. Sometimes it can be reused. Sometimes it's just very stubborn and cannot. So that's okay. And then we'll take the puppies and put it on my magnet sheet. I always have a magnet sheet handy so that when I am done cutting, I always put them back on. Now I'm going to show you a little trick with this, and actually I'm going to need to take that off for just a moment. And that strip's going to get tossed. I'm going to grab a Pampered Chef scraper. And you can just flick them. If they don't all come out, then you can get out your die brush, which I could do. But everything came out pretty quickly, so that was nice. So I'm just going to take this big piece and put that in the trash. And I'm going to take my Pampered Chef scraper and scrape all the little bits into my little trash can here. I use, this is my garbage can. And so I have recycling products on one side, which is paper, and stuff that doesn't get recycled on the other side. And now this piece, I wanted it shorter. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this right here and I'm going to cut it like that. So if I would just snip that, then it would not have the dots going around. So now what I'm doing is I am creating the dots that are etched around the whole, sorry for the shaking of the camera. And so now it looks like that die came exactly like that. So I like to show you different ways to use something that it was intended for something totally different. Okay, so we're done with our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. So I'm just going to roll that through so that I can just carry it over without dropping anything on Bert. Because he's sleeping in his box. All right, to clean this out, I am just going to grab my die brush and clean out any of the, well, it looks like I got them out. Okay, I didn't think I did. I have two take your pick tools. I keep one with the die brush on it and put a lid on it. So then that way, if this drops, all the bits don't get thrown away, or I mean all over the bedroom floor, which is my craft room. And it's my craft room, and I just have a bed in it. That's the way I like to say it. I used to have a basement as my craft room, but nope, that didn't work out. Okay, so we're going to grab that silicone craft sheet, and we're going to grab this, okay, and that works, I think, perfectly. Cool. So what I'm going to do is grab my little penguin. My penguin is my holder for my glue, and I am going to grab my glue silicone craft sheet. And what that means is that I'm going to take a little dab of glue, and I am going to grab my pastry brush that my friend Carolyn gave it to me, and she cut it. She gave it a haircut. It's probably about that big, and you can get them at the dollar store. And I'm just going to just dot it up a little bit and grab some glue. And it's like having Dotto back in the day when Stampin' Up! Had Dotto. Alright, so then this is going to go on top of here. And I'm going to make sure that everybody is covered and you don't get glue pressing through the little tootsies. Isn't that cute? All right. there happens to be a little bit of the basic gray underneath, so I'm just gonna snip that off because I can see it and I don't want it there. So come on, behave. There. Okay, perfect. So then this is going to dry up, and so I have two silicone craft sheets. One says glue on it, so what this is going to do is basically dry up, and I'm going to rub that off once I'm done. But then having the second silicone craft sheet allows me to put adhesive on things and not worry about the glue. So I'm going to flip this one over, and I'm going to grab my Stampin' Seal, and it's going to go all the way around. Now, if you were watching this video before, I was having technical difficulties, and so it stopped. I stayed on until it came back on. So if you see this, and then all of a sudden you start watching it because you missed the beginning, just watch it. Once there's once the technical difficulties end, we'll be fine. So, okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take this and, oh, I see thumbs up. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Okay, so we're going to take this and we're going to put adhesive just on the inside of this. And we are going to, you know what? We're going to let that sit there for a second. We're going to put the greeting on dimensionals because I'm going to grab my Take Your Pick tool, and this is my people poker. I always use that for the dimensionals. Oh, come here, because I don't have fingernails. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to place my greeting down. See, when I stamped the original card, I didn't have the space, so I was covering up a cute little puppy, and I didn't want to do that. So there we go. So that's going to sit there. So now when we put this on here, I know where my greeting is, and that's going to go just above like that. And I forgot something. Darn it. All right, so we're actually going to fix that now. We're going to take this and we're going to just lift that up because somebody forgot something. That would be me, because I added ribbon to this, and I didn't do that in the beginning because I kind of forgot about that. So we're going to add more adhesive because we took it off, right? Okay, so I mean, nobody has ever forgotten to put their ribbon on before, right? I'm just showing you how to fix that. You put it on. Okay, so then we're going to go over here and we're going to grab a mini glue dot. And I use mini glue dots when I like to do my ribbons because it helps you. I'm just going to flip that in half, roughly. Make it a blob. All right, so my knot is going to roughly be the center there, okay? So what it's going to do, it's going to help me create that center for my knot. You do? Well, you know, Dawn, if you keep watching, I'll help you remember, right? Gosh darn it. I think I did this the opposite way. Maybe I go this way. Yep, that's what it was. And then we make that center right there. And then now I don't have the need to say, hey, Mike, come here and give me your fingers so I can make a bow or a knot. Because now it's going to work out. Maybe. Nope. Okay. This way. Oh, there are the children. There's the screaming. There we go. Tie a knot like you mean it. There we go. Nice. Okay, now grab the ribbon scissors. And cutting that off a little bit. And there we go. Okay, so then now, that's a little too pointy. There. Okay, then we are going to put adhesive on this side. You don't want to put the adhesive on this one and this one at the same time, because apparently it will buckle, and you don't want it to buckle. You want it to look like that, which is a WV card, hence its name, WV, or VW, I guess. And I want this one a little smaller. There. I keep on trimming my ends on my ribbon until there's nothing left. All right. Because I used to be a floral designer, and so my bows, you know, I can do that really well. But then once I get to card making, it's like even, odd, the length is not the same. Yeah, so that drives me nuts. Okay, so this is the inside of our card. And so I'm going to put this on here. That's going to go... Wait, Joy, you're putting that on the wrong side of the card. No, I'm not. This is the way it goes. I mean, woohoo! Okay, so then now we have that. Which side? Okay, this is the 2-inch piece. So we're going to put. Let's see here. We're going to go just like that. So we're going to put a little bit of adhesive right here. And we're going to leave a little bit of white at the bottom. And then we're going to snip that off. Put that in the trash. Okay, so that's what that looks like so far. Okay, and then now we are going to do the same thing to the top part. And so we're going to put that. Okay, come on. I want to go to the end. All right. And then we're going to leave a little bit at the top. Roughly the same distance as you have it at the bottom. And then we're going to snip that. That's all we're throwing away. No biggie. Okay. Isn't that just adorable? Okay, so now we're going to add that all the way around with adhesive, because this is going to go on our Misty Moonlight, which has been embossed. Okay, and that is going to go right there. Oops, a little glue booger. Oh, let's get that out of there. Okay, so now we're not done yet. We gotta, color the puppies. All right, so don't be afraid when you see this. Oh my goodness, you're probably thinking, what the heck are you doing with all those colors? Okay. So, I need the mini glue dots, so we're going to keep those out. Let me put my silicone craft sheet away. No. I need to grab that. It fell. And if I don't grab it now, then I'm going to think it's lost. I put everything back where it goes, and then I know where it's at when I need it. That drives me crazy when I can't find something and it's sitting in front of my face. Okay, so I am going to color. And a long time ago, I learned from Patty Bennett to swatch my blends. Depends on how much you use them, how much color you have. So you might run low on a certain color in a tip, so it might not be as vibrant as if it was something that was new. So I always swatch. Now, because these guys are small, I'm not using the brush tip. I only swatch the nib tip. Now for me, I usually do, I always do the light brush because it's on the left side, or the light color, okay? And the nib tip is at the top, the brush is at the bottom. So B for bottom. So that's how I do it. So it's always light and dark, light and dark, light and dark. And then I have it sitting here in order of my swatching. So I could sit there and say, okay, I'm coloring this in this color. I need to grab that blend. And the reason why I do that is because sometimes, again, you might think that a flower might look good in this color, but then realize that the brush tip might have a different color. And like I said, I'm only doing the nib tips, so I don't have to sit there and choose too much. Okay, I am going to sit down because I always sit when I color. Because when somebody wins this card, I want them to like it. Okay, so let's get. So if I color here, you can see me. Okay, and okay, I'm just gonna grab a drink. I am having a mango margarita tonight. Num, num, num. Alrighty. So, I am going to tell you what colors I am using. So that way you can see where I'm headed if I'm going to do shading or not. All right, so I'm going to do this puppy, and I'm going to do him in dark crumb cake. Okay, so that puppy is done with its coloring. This one, I am going to do the smoky slate. So I'm going to take it and I'm going to use the dark nib tip, and I am going to kind of do the outline of the dog. And then I'm going to do the shading in with the nib. And so I'm just going to okay, isn't he cute? All right. And then I am going to do this puppy kind of in the same technique with the crumb cake. And I'm going to do the outline in the dark crumb cake. And then do the light crumb cake. There's a bug. Okay, and then this puppy is going to be in smoky slate, and it's kind of like a Dalmatian. Kind of little gray spots all over. Okay, then let's do the flowers. Okay, so I am going to do light old olive, and then light old olive, and then dark old olive, they're too small to do any shading on, so it's kind of hard. And then I'm going to do light Misty Moonlight for both the dogs' collar circle thingies. And then I'm going to do the bubble bath. Bubble gum. Geez. That's the dark for its tongue. All right, so then light bubble gum. And then light bubble gum. And then, oops, a center of bubble bath. It's not bubble gum. Why am I saying bubble gum? All right, so Calypso Coral. This is light. Okay. And then this is the dark Calypso Coral. And that's the color on one. And then the light Calypso Coral is on the other. Okay. Oh, thank you. Isn't that cute? Little puppies. And now we're going to whack them off. Do, do, do. Thank you for the hearts. I see that. Okay. So we're just going to shape this a little bit. There we go. So that it doesn't look like it's really funny looking. Now this puppy needs to get trimmed a little bit. Okay, we'll just round that corner a little bit. All right, so we got 2 puppies and 2 puppies. All right, so that is the coloring. And we'll get rid of the little piece. Come on, let's go. Yes, as you can tell, I am the type of stamper that puts her stuff away when she's done, because my space is not that big. I used to have a basement, and that was my stamp room. And now I have a bedroom in a 2-bedroom. And so I really like the apartment that I live in. The trees in front of our balcony, we live on the 3rd floor, and the trees are just spectacular in the fall. And fall's my favorite season. And I like spring a lot because the beauty of everything coming out after the winter. Kimberly, hi. Just going to say you're going to want to watch the replay, but just to let you know, there is technical difficulties. So if it seems like I've gone, happy Sunday. So if it seems like I've gone away and it went black, hold on, because I stuck around. So these are mini glue dots, and so I'm just going to take them and roll them, because I don't want the inside of my card to be too raised up, but still I want some level of height to them. But anyways, I don't have to weed my gardens, which were 12 of them. I don't have to clean the pond anymore. I had a man-made pond, I should say a woman-made pond, and we had ducks that came to it. So now all I have is flower pots, and I am so happy. I could just sit on my deck. I don't have to weed a doggone thing. But they are painting her building. So I had to move all the flower pots and everything that was hanging off. So everything is just kind of funny looking right now. All right, so these puppies, I forgot one thing. Dang nabbit. Okay, so we're gonna shade. We're gonna take some. Let's see, what do we got? Paper. So we're gonna take. This is just scrap paper, and we're going to do some shading, but I forgot to do that before it was not attached. And I'm sure none of you guys have ever done that again. You know, I'm showing you just how to maneuver around things that you just kind of mess up on. That's been the day today. All right, so we're going to grab some smoky slate, and we're going to just do a little bit right here in the corner. I think maybe it hold better if I do it this way. Okay. We're just doing a little shading. Get rid of that main brush off. Because I got some puppies that I want to put here, but I don't want them to be directly white on white. I want a little bit of coloring back there to kind of showcase them a little bit. See the cute little gray cloud? Aww. Okay. And now it will highlight my puppies even better. I just stuck my finger in the... Okay, so now we're going to take these guys and we're going to put them right down there in the corner. So whoever wins this card, you do not need to write a book to whomever you send this card to. Now, I mean, like, how cute is that? Okay, so it's going to open up like that. Woohoo! Okay, now we have the Winkastella. And so we're going to color the flowers. Thank you, Tina. Now, as I was saying, if you guys go back in and watch the replay, it's going to be a little dark for a little bit because I was having technical difficulties. And the connection was very spotty. This apartment does not have the best connection. All right, so you want to color that off, wipe it off. And so I'm just going to do the banner. Do the banner. And then, because I'm not bringing any color in. And then the... Where's the other ones? Right there. And that will come off. Thank you, Kimberly. And his tongue. And now I'm going to do the nose. And all the puppies. Alrighty. I'm like super cute. And so whoever wins this card, just a little hello, have the best day. Now this could be a Father's Day card, or it could be a happy birthday card. Depends on your sentiment that you put in on the inside. Okay, and so for now, we're going to use the Pearls of Beauty, because in here, in the Designer Series paper, there's crumb cake. And what puppies do not need beautiful pearlized crumb cake little pieces? Alright, so we're going to put that one there, one down in the corner, and then a little guy. Where'd I put the little guy? Up here by the bow. So we're creating a triangle. We're using odd numbers, and then we're going to use an odd one right there. Okay, so that is the WV fold, and so I had to pick some winners because Facebook said your video will be deleted on such and such a date. And I got my dates mixed up. So I had to pick my winners from the card that was on Facebook. You know, the photo, not from the live. Which, if you normally, you know, do a thumbs up on the picture, I normally don't pick winners from that. But because Facebook had deleted my video, I had to pick winners from there. Okay, so what do you think of this cute WV fold that I saw from... now, when I saw the video from Susan, like I said, she, you know, just did just the Designer Series paper, a piece of Designer Series paper. I kind of stepped it up a little bit, but that's how I tend to roll. I never do somebody's idea and I do it directly, you know, the same. So, if you watch this video, you can do, thank you, Dawn, do a thumbs up or a heart. That gets your name entered into the drawing to win this card. If you leave a comment, either during the video or watching the replay, you will get entered into the drawing. And if you share this on your timeline, this video, you will, thank you for the hearts, you will get 2 entries. So you can have 4 different ways to get entered to win this really cute card. So thank you for hanging out with me tonight. I generally do my Facebook Lives on Sundays after 5 o'clock, and I do about a half an hour notice, and I try to do a Facebook Live on Thursdays after 5 o'clock and do a notice. But we've been so busy at work that Thursday has been kind of hard for me, and so I might, you know, do it during the weekend. Like this last weekend, I did it on Friday. And it was at 10 o'clock at night, so it was late night stamping. So, and I even went to work on Saturday. So, thank you for hanging out with me, and I really appreciate it. And I appreciate you doing the thumbs up and the likes and the sharing. That means a lot to me. And you can also go to my YouTube page once this video is done, and you can watch it on my YouTube page, do the subscription thing, the likes, the shares. I have 85 followers on my Facebook or my YouTube page. So I'd like to get to 100 someday. So thanks, guys. Have a great weekend and happy stamping.